So we have just come to the end of our series on rhythms of resistance and renewal. And it's been about us learning to follow Jesus and be the people that we believe God is calling us to be people who wholeheartedly follow after Jesus and serve him in Cornwall and beyond. And rather that just be an intentional thing, a kind of a wishful thinking thing, we've been talking about daily, weekly and monthly rhythms that we can put into practice, into place to be the people we believe God is calling us to be. Now, unfortunately, the week where we did the rhythm of monthly giving didn't record. So you've got me doing a whistle-stop tour of what we looked at that week. So we're going to look at three things. First of all, what we do with our money, what we do with our stuff is fundamental to our discipleship. Secondly, that we are a church built on generosity. And thirdly, we want to continue in generosity. So firstly, this rhythm of monthly giving is about discipleship. Jesus spoke about money quite a lot. Now, our culture would tell us that life isn't about living, life is about consuming. And we want to say no to the rhythm of consumption because we think consumption is bad for us for a number of reasons. Firstly, it's bad for our planet. Because we just simply do not have the resources to feed the need that we have to consume. It's bad for workers because businesses are trying to make products cheaper and therefore looking for cheaper labor. And it's bad for us consuming things because we will not be satisfied by the lie, by the promise of advertising. That is not what's going to bring us fullness of life. And the other reason is that Jesus said that you cannot serve both God and money. Like that was something he was very, very clear about. One will have your affections. If you want to know where your affections are going, the best way to look is at your bank balance. Or if you look at a bank statement, Jesus said where your treasure is, that is where your heart is. So if we look at our bank statements, it's a very good exercise, practical exercise to do and see actually where are my affections? As I see my money, where is my money going? Where is my heart going? But the thing is, money is actually a good thing. Money is there to serve the kingdom of God. But the thing is, when we consume stuff, what that does is it flips around and money becomes to be something that rules us. We believe that actually in giving away, we are choosing to say no to consumption and yes to generosity. Which leads us on to our second point. We as a church are built on generosity. Our story is one of generous giving because when I came from KXC, we had a plan to raise £75,000. And we said to the church, we want to have a kids and youth worker right from the off because we want to make kids and young people a priority. Now, I've got to tell you something about the context of KXC. KXC isn't a wealthy church by any means. It's mainly made up of people in their 20s and 30s, so people at the beginning of their career, and they're living in one of the most expensive cities in the world, and their rent bills would make your eyes water. So this community gave way above and beyond the 75k that we were asking for, and they gave it so generously to something that they were never going to taste the fruit of. We are built on generous giving. Also, we've been blessed by support from the local community, from the other local Anglican churches who voted to say yes to St. Gregory's existing. And they also said, we want to put some finances towards that. So we are a church built on generous giving. And because of that, the third and final point is we want to continue to be a generous people. We want to receive that generosity and give away. So the trustees have agreed that we will give 10% of any of our regular giving. We will give any of that away to local and international and national projects. So in your email are two links which I would encourage you to have a look at. One is our giving page. The other one is to a giving away form. Now, firstly, the giving away page, we're inviting people to give to St. Gregory's. And the reason we're doing that is we believe that money is there to serve the kingdom of God. And the local church is Jesus' primary vehicle for renewal in the world today. And it excites me, the idea of people giving, firstly, because it means that we will get to do things in the community that we wouldn't be able to do otherwise. We get to serve our local community, and we're in the process of working out what does that look like? What is our contribution of serving this community? And secondly, it excites me because if Jesus was right, that where your treasure is, where your heart is, then it means that people are putting their hearts behind this vision of serving the kingdom of God in this area. I'm very aware as I'm doing this and as I was giving the talk a few weeks ago that we are in a cost of living crisis, and that is affecting people in lots of different ways. And Jesus had this really helpful image which sticks with me when I think about this, is when he pointed to a widow in the temple when she was giving her offering, and he points out to her and says, this woman has given more than everyone else, even though they were much richer, because she has given all she has. So therefore, for me, it's not about how much you give, it's about the posture of your heart, and it's about being wholehearted in what we are giving. So what does it look like to be wholehearted? Well, I would encourage you to do this in the context of prayer. This is a spiritual discipline after all. So do it in the context of prayer. Bring your budget to God and ask him how he wants you to use all of your money. And then decide what you're going to be giving. And my encouragement of you is to do it at the beginning of the month. So you're deciding ahead of the month what you are going to give to God, rather than waiting for the end and kind of giving him the leftover, giving him the dregs. And then there is the giving away form. As I said, our trustees have agreed that we will give away 10% of all unrestricted giving that is given to us. I feel really, really excited about that. We're going to be giving to local, national and international projects and charities. But in order to do that, we want to hear about what God has put on your hearts. Our desire is for us to perform like long-term connections with these people. We want to be praying for them, we want to be supporting them relationally, and we want to be giving to them financially. But we want to hear what you're passionate about. We want to hear what God has laid on your heart, as well as an opportunity for us to share what God has laid on ours. So all the links for that are in the email. And if you have any questions, please do email me and we can have a conversation about it. Thank you so much for listening. This is something we feel really excited about. And I hope it wasn't as painful for you watching it as it was for me recording. I don't like cameras, so